We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go. Hi everybody, I'm Sophie, he's Mike, and she's Brenda, and welcome to On the Road with Mickey. If you're returning for another adventure with us, welcome back. We are so glad you have returned safely. And if this is your first episode with us and you're new here, welcome. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm going to show you the reins today. First up, we have our Cheddar from the Big Cheese, which is basically our Disney news snippets. And then after that, we have our feature topic, which is what we talk about for most of the episode. And then after that, we have our This Day in Disney History, brought to you by me. And after that is our game of Who's Who, and that is brought to you by Mike, my dad. Oh, fair warning, I'm almost never wrong when it comes to this game. I almost always win it. And then after that, Brenda will be giving us a quote from the big man himself, Walt Disney, and it's just going to be amazing. So buckle up, keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car at all times. Make sure you're safe, fasten your seatbelts, all that good stuff, and we will see you on the road. It's time to get going. Let's go!
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And oh wait, Miss Brenda's not here with us this week. Whoops!
Oh well, Brenda, we miss you. It's weird when you're not in the podcast with us, but he's Grogu and he's wearing his ears, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But unfortunately, I don't have a place for him to sit today, so oh well. We'll just say that he went to join Miss Brenda.
There you go. And we're on the road with Mickey. This is Season 2, Episode 47 for November 22nd, 2021. And our feature topic is Dapper Days at Disney. So, as a result, Sophie is very stylishly, dapperly dressed.
Oh, thank you.
And I did my best.
You look cute, Daddy.
I'm supposed to look handsome.
Oh, please. Mommy would think so, but that's not my jurisdiction.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we think this will be a fun episode. The Dapper Days, we're recording obviously before November 22nd, and Dapper Days at Walt Disney World are November 20th and 21st, so we're slightly beyond it, but we're going to get into some upcoming days for next year as well. So, so stay tuned. But before we get started with that, I have an update from last week. And last week, Brenda asked, what are the best Christmas decorations at the parks and resorts? And so I put it out there as a poll. And no surprise, the Magic Kingdom is so far the runaway winner. Yeah. However, what surprised me is that Hollywood Studios is getting a lot of people saying that their decorations are the best.
Yeah, it is surprising. Me, personally, I love the Epcot tree the most.
Yeah. But anyway, we have it's an open poll. So you can go to our Facebook group. And there's a link in the show notes. And you can vote on the poll and join the group and get in the conversation because we have a lot of fun talking about Disney out there. So join in, go see what the numbers are and everything like that, and just see what you think. But, so far, Magic Kingdom is the runaway.
Oh,
but
well,
that's okay.
I'll just be different in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, so go look at the poll. Yeah. And now heading into a little bit of cheddar from the Big Cheese, we got two pieces that are actually down the road a bit, but they're worth talking about, I think. And the first one is over at Disneyland, Sophie.
Yeah.
Mickey's Toontown is getting reimagined with new experiences, more play, and interactivity for young families.
Oh
And it's
my.
coming to Disneyland in 2023. So not next
Oh
year, the
wow.
year after.
Hmm.
And I'm real curious to see what they're going to do over there because I love Mickey's Toontown. I think it is almost the bee's knees for Disneyland in many ways.
I would agree. I especially love the Who Framed Roger Rabbit ride, and I
Yeah,
just love Mickey's Toontown, so I'm hoping that they're adding on to it and they're not taking much away from it.
yeah, me too. And
But
so
who
time
knows?
will tell.
Maybe this will be exciting.
I think it will
Well,
be.
well, actually, not maybe. We know it'll be exciting, but let's hope that they pull it off and do a good job with it. But also, coming to Disney Plus in 2023, Tiana, a musical series where Princess Tiana is now the Princess of Maldonia. In case anyone is wondering, she married Prince Naveen in her movie, The Princess and the Frog, but it was not confirmed whether or not they would become prince and princess or not.
Yeah, well, evidently they did
Yeah,
or will be.
that's
So,
exciting.
yeah,
And and it's one of my favorite movies, so I'm especially excited for this.
yeah, I think it's a great movie too. And hat tip to Mommy for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
And Sheila also pointed out about Toontown, but
Yeah.
I also had seen it already. So anyway, that's all the cheddar we've got so far, and we will keep our ears out. And if we see any new cheddar, we'll post it in the Facebook group. So another reason to join our Facebook group. Um,
Absolutely.
and the links on how you can get to us are all in the show notes. So go to that and just check it out and join in the conversation. We have a lot of fun and we like to talk Disney. So
Yep.
all right. Well, I'm not sure exactly where this conversation is going to go.
I'm not sure either, but we're gonna have fun with
We're
it.
going to give it the old college try and do our best with it. And it's time to move on to our feature topic, which is Dapper Days at Disney.
Yep.
So we have just like a little Q&A.
Yeah.
That's kind of
And
how we're building it out, but we can go off the cuff a little bit too, and
yeah.
off the collar and so forth. That
Yeah.
was
Collar.
poor.
Oh well. I
That
mean,
was
this
bad.
collar is actually pretty tight, so
Yeah.
mm,
My collar then.
yeah. It's hard to go off this one. Anyway,
Sophie, why
so
don't you take the first bullet item?
yeah, so we are really the bullet item that I'm talking about is it answers the question, what is a Dapper Day? And Dapper Days are just days at the Disney park where you can dress up in retro outfits to give tribute to a particular era. For example, dress up in clothing like mine, reminiscent of the 40s and the 50s, which are my favorite.
Hmm.
And they're also, it's 1955, that's when Disneyland opened, so it makes sense that people would dress that way.
Yeah, and Um, most of the information we've gotten is coming from a website. So if you want more
Yeah.
info, go to dapperday.com.
Yeah.
And one of the things I learned is that there was um, a person, Justin is his name, and he always wanted to dress up in stylish clothing when he would go to the parks, and he loved to go to Disneyland. And
Yeah.
what I learned is that um, when he did that, he would get kind of weird looks because people would be there in their shorts and their t-shirts and whatnot, and he'd be dressed up in his nice dapper clothing, and people would be like, "Why are you so dressed up?" you know, and it's kind of weird. So he decided that he wanted to kind of start a movement, kind of like um, just get something going. So he didn't think he would be the only person that wanted to dress up to go to Disney. And
Yeah.
so he started like a little like a Facebook group or something like that. And he invited people. He's like, "Hey, let's all dress up and go to Disneyland on such and such day." And
Yeah.
they started turning out, it's kind of grew. It started like 100 people, then it got to like 400 people, and then 1,000 people, and it just kind of mushroomed a little bit, and that's how Dapper Days was started. And it was started, I think, in 2011, Sophie.
Oh, I
So
see.
so from what I've been able to tell, it's not been a long time thing that this has been going on, but
Mm-mm.
it's kind of like you said, it's a throwback to dress in period clothing and so forth, and
Yeah.
just to be able to show off your style a little bit. Um,
Well, I mean, I suppose there's a reason why it took so long for it to kind of blossom the way it did, and that was because way back then, in the time when Disneyland first opened, it wasn't exactly an everyday thing to go to the park. And I mean, it's not an everyday thing to go to the park now, but people, they pooled a lot of commitment and effort into their Disney trips. So it makes sense that they would dress up for them. And even now, if you go to other parks around the world, like I believe over in Shanghai Disneyland and Disneyland Paris, they don't just go in their regular travel wear. They dress up to go to Disney. It's an
mhm.
event there. It's not
Yeah,
just a vacation.
yeah, exactly. It's not. Um, it's the style. It's the custom. I'll say, not the style. The custom to dress more formally when you were going to a park like this, because you're right, it wasn't just going to the park for the day.
Yeah.
It was a major thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so back then there wouldn't have been Dapper Days because everyone was always dressing in the Dapper Days anyway, right?
Yeah.
so so that makes
Dressing
a lot of
dapper
sense.
anyway.
Yeah.
Every day was
So
Dapper Day.
exactly. Um, so, like I had mentioned earlier, the Dapper Days at Walt Disney World are Saturday, November 20th at Epcot, and Sunday, November 21st at Magic Kingdom, which was yesterday, the day before when this airs. Um, but at Disneyland, there will be Dapper Days in April. So April 23rd and April 24th. It's a Saturday, Sunday, in 2022. So if you're out that way, you might want to kind of pencil it on your calendar that maybe that would be a day for you to dress up
Yeah.
and to make yourself part of the fun. It's not just one thing to keep in mind. This is not something that Disney is putting together. This is something um, that just fans of Disney have kind of organized it together and have picked the Disney parks as a place where they want to do. They also have Dapper Day Sophie in Disneyland Paris.
Do they?
Yeah, like sponsored Disney,
Wow.
not Disney sponsored, but sponsored events from the dapperday.com website. They have they have events at Disneyland Paris. So,
I see. I didn't realize that.
yeah.
That's
And
interesting. I wonder how those go.
I'm sure it goes just like they do over here. It's probably what I've learned a little bit is that the the Dapper Days at Disneyland, at least, and I think of the ones at Disney World as well. They have the days when you go to the parks for it, but they also have
Mm.
like an expo of sorts at one
Oh.
of the resorts. And I think so November 13th and 14th, so just a little while ago, My understanding is they had Dapper Days at Disneyland, and they had an expo at the Disneyland Hotel.
I
And
see.
and I think part of it is so that you can go see, and I think they have some merch and stuff that they sell there, and stuff like that. I don't know all the details, and obviously we've never been to a Dapper Day, so we're kind of a little bit blind on this one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I think they also do the same thing maybe at the Grand Floridian in one of the rooms somewhere there, but I don't know for certain. So there's
Yeah.
like I said, there's a lot of information at dapperday.com, and
Yeah.
that I think it's a fun website just because you can see some of the pictures of some of the people that have gone there and dressed in their dapper clothing, and it's kind of neat to
Absolutely.
witness all that and to see it. So
It's quite pretty.
yeah,
And that's
the
probably why I'm so invested in it, because I really like dressing up pretty like, and I don't always get that opportunity.
yeah, and one of the things that I notice that makes perfect sense is that you don't see Dapper Days in the middle of summer. You're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
see a Dapper Day event in July at Walt Disney World because it'll be so hot and sticky that you would be like just melting in all your layers of clothing.
Yeah.
But also one last thing. I mentioned Disneyland in April for
Yeah.
Dapper Day. They also have and I don't know all the details on that, but Walt Disney World, it looks like April 30th and May 1st. We'll have some Dapper Day
Oh.
events. So I don't know which parks. I imagine Epcot and Magic Kingdom is probably their
Yeah.
regular one. So
Yeah. And other than that, it is just a normal day in the park, which
mhm.
kind of leads me to have a few questions about how going to the park would well go when you're dressed up so formally and you're not in your regular clothes that you don't mind getting
Right.
dirty or wet.
Yeah. I feel like if I were dressed dapperly
Yeah.
at at the parks, I would probably be there more for the social aspects. You know, greeting people, walking up and down Main Street, walking through Fantasyland, um,
Yeah.
maybe riding some rides, but not everything. Like I wouldn't ride Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't if you were in a dress. You probably wouldn't want to ride Big Thunder Mountain.
Depends on if I had shorts on underneath.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Um, things like that. But one of the first things they did when in one of the earliest events is they they didn't want the organizers were like, look, we're not here to all everyone hang out in one big group and go to every attraction as a big group,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they kind of left it up to people what they wanted to do, and the only thing that they did decide that they wanted to have a meetup for was they wanted to have a meetup and ride the Mark Twain riverboat. So that was at Disneyland, not
Ah.
at Disney World. And that makes perfect sense. Like, going on the riverboat in your period clothing just seems as natural as having a PB&J, right?
Yeah.
You know? And so that to me was like the perfect meetup,
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so there's pictures of them all dressed up in their dapper clothes all on the riverboat
Yeah.
while they're doing the ride. So that's the kind of attraction I could see, or maybe dressed up and doing the Haunted Mansion,
Oh, yeah.
something like that where you're almost at a wake anyway. you know.
And of course, it just makes sense to go and get a couple pictures here and there with rides that match your outfits, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Like this dress right here, it
Uh-huh.
has pink flamingos on it and sunshine and watermelon sunglasses and strawberry, or is that an orange? That's an apple sunglasses. So I can totally see me going to the Enchanted Tiki Room in this
Yeah.
dress and having a whole photo shoot just waiting in line.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, prime and I might be wrong. Anyone that has dressed up for Dapper Days, chime in on our comments or leave us a comment on YouTube or do something. Leave us a comment in the group and tell us when you dress up in your dapper attire and go to the parks, what sort of experience, what sort of ride experience do you have? You
Yeah.
know, what are the rides that you ride, or is there anything that you're totally fine just doing everything? Let
Yeah.
us know because we're kind of curious. Because,
Yeah.
like we said, Sophie and I haven't really done that. And,
Mm-mm.
this is a great question for Aunt Sheila and Jagan, too,
Absolutely.
because they are going or went, depending on how you think
Yeah.
about it. The
Um,
space time continuum is kind of whacked a little bit, but
Let me think. If this is when the if we're talking in terms of when this episode comes out, then they went to
they
Dapper Day.
went. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have plans to be there in their dapper attire. So Sheila and Jagan, we want to know what kind of rides you did.
Yeah.
Did you do any rides? Or
Did
was it
they?
just about the experience of doing it? I don't know. Let
Hmm.
us know.
I feel like with Jagan, she would probably be like, if I don't go on one ride today, like it doesn't have to be a roller coaster. My guess is I can totally see her wanting to go on the Haunted Mansion, if I'm being honest, in her Dapper Day wear. I feel like if she didn't do one ride, like a slow ride or a dark ride in that
Mhm.
outfit, she would be upset.
I could see them doing more rides at Magic Kingdom. But one
Yeah.
ride I could totally see us doing
Yeah?
in our dapper attire,
Yeah?
I could see us doing Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Oh,
Totally.
yeah.
That would almost fit because it'd almost be like we were patrons
That is
eating in the
true.
restaurant and dressed up to eat at the restaurant and then got sidetracked.
That is very true.
Hmm.
Actually, it feels like there would be a lot more rides at Epcot that would be good for Dapper Day wear since there are no roller coasters at Epcot really.
That's
With
true.
the exception of like maybe Mission Space if you're thinking a simulation or
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess the Guardians of the Galaxy ride that they're coming out with, but I don't even know when that's supposed to happen
that'll
anymore.
open next year. So,
Yeah.
but from my perspective, Magic Kingdom, because you've got a lot more rides to choose from. Like being dressed in your dapper day and
Hmm.
and seeing the carousel of progress and then hopping on the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that would be awesome.
So we might be answering our own question about what rides would we do. Um,
As long
and
as it keeps the conversation going, because we're only at 20 minutes, so we have to keep on going.
but um I could see us doing It's a Small World and Peter Pan.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're right. I think the only rides I probably wouldn't do would be like high speed rides like Space Mountain, Big
Yeah.
Thunder, and Seven Dwarfs.
Well, then again, like, I can see, I could see you doing them just because you would be wearing like pants and a nice shirt, so you would be able to do them.
Hmm.
Me, I'm over here wearing a dress, as are most of the women who do Dapper Days. So if I'm not careful, those high-speed rides could cause wardrobe malfunctions, and that would be bad.
That would be bad. We do not want any wardrobe
No.
malfunctions.
Which leads to say, the carousel.
The
Prince
carrot?
Charming's
Oh, yeah.
carousel.
Yeah.
That, I feel like that would be a great ride aesthetically for Dapper Day. But again, with the dresses, you're sitting on a horse, so how would that work?
Well, you got to sit side saddle.
We're allowed to do that?
Well, back in the day, women and girls, they rode side saddle on horses.
Yeah, but I don't know if we're actually allowed to ride a carousel horse that way.
I don't think Disney would stop you.
All right.
So I would think if you're in period costume, if you're in dapper costumes or outfits, you'd be riding Prince Charming's carousel side saddle.
Great. Now I just want to do that anyway.
Well, I don't think anything's going to stop you. You can do that next time we're down.
Yeah. And by the way, that leads me to realize this, people. Every day can be Dapper Day. When we say Dapper Days at Disney, I guess I've been led to believe that it's an exclusive event, just because I didn't know who planned it, and therefore I didn't know how to get in on the action. But now that I think about it, you can go to any Disney park any day out of the year dressed however you want, as long as it's publicly decent. So technically speaking, if I had the outfits for it, I could make every day that I'm at Disney into a Dapper Day. And it would be
Exactly.
just me, and I don't have to wait for anyone to tell me that I can dress up.
Right. Right. And no one was telling them they couldn't dress up. I think he just felt Justin, I just think he felt a little odd seeing the looks he was getting for being so dapperly dressed.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you rode your own boat, you know,
Yeah.
then go for it. And you're right. It doesn't there doesn't have to be a series of days set aside for that. So you're right. The one question I have now,
Yeah.
looking at all the history and everything involved regarding the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World and Disneyland at Disneyland Park. Which park do you think fits the idea of Dapper Day better? Being there at Disneyland or being at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World?
I think Disneyland.
I think so too. Tell me why though. What's your thought? Let's see if we're correct in our or
My
if we agree.
thoughts is that Disneyland, not only is it older,
Mhm.
but when you think about Disney World, you have so much more over there that is focused on the future. You have Tomorrowland, which admittedly has not changed a lot since Disney World opened, but it is getting that new Tron ride, so that does signify even Tomorrowland is changing. And then you have Epcot, the entire experimental prototype city of tomorrow. That's literally what Epcot means. And Disneyland doesn't have that. So when you think of Disney World, it's bigger, it's better, and it's geared toward the future. It is not as classic as Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland
So
has,
Disneyland fits the throwback style a little bit better in your mind.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, name something that has changed, like a big, big change that has happened at Disneyland recently.
Well, Galaxy's Edge.
That's true, but Disney World has that too.
Well, here my whole thought is that at Disneyland, um, to me, dressing up in a dapper outfit makes more sense at Disneyland because of the fact that you're walking on pavement that Walt very
That's
well may
true.
have walked on, you know?
That's true.
So
He
it's
did
to
walk
me
on
it's a lot easier to get into the mindset of I'm in the 50s going to Disneyland, you
And
know?
Walt never had the opportunity to walk in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I think only Roy got that opportunity, but I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure of that either.
Yeah. Well, he would have because he was there
Yeah.
for the
Oh, wait.
dedication.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so that's why I think Disneyland. But
Yeah.
I think the Magic Kingdom at Disney World is perfectly suited for it too, because you got Main Street, just like you do at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But if you're in Main Street, you know, you almost fit in with the mayor and the townspeople of Main Street, USA. So
Yeah.
so
I would
that
agree with that.
so anyway, it was just a little something I was thinking about. Which one would be more likely? So I want to hear from the people who have done this, and I want to see what you all think. And is that um, is our thought process correct? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
So tell us more about in the comments. Tell us why you like to dress up when you go to Disney. So for Dapper Days, and just let us know because we'd like to know more. So
Yeah.
okay, so I don't know. Is there anything else that we have to cover on this topic?
Hmm.
You know what?
Actually, this just occurred to me, Daddy.
What's that?
I was thinking about how Dapper Day could be better suited to the other parks at Walt Disney World. And now I just have this vision of people walking up under the Epcot ball and they are dressed in futuristic looking clothes.
Oh, so take it the other way.
Exactly.
It's not.
Dress
It's
up from
not.
the future, not from the
Yeah,
past.
right. Like dress up like Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah. Well, actually, when you think about it, Franny from Meet the Robinsons, she dresses pretty dapper. She dresses like the dapper people on Dapper Day. So I guess dressing up as you normally do, you could be from Meet the Robinsons.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And then,
I
and
don't know. My head's
Brenda.
about to explode, I think, on that one.
Oh, sorry. You know me. I have a much greater capacity for things and a much shorter attention span.
Well, I think it's part of it, especially with the Meet the Robinsons reference that you mentioned about how she dresses, is
Yeah.
that um, clothing and outfits and attire is kind of circular, circular.
I would
So
I would agree with that.
what's in style now isn't in style next year, but then it comes back down the road, 20 years down the road, people are dressing like you did when you were in high school.
Yeah.
So, which is a much bigger deal for me than it is for you because you haven't been out of high school that long.
Well,
but,
I
but
mean, I didn't think I was out of high school that long, but apparently my friends say otherwise.
no, 2 years, no, that is
Mm,
not long. You haven't even had your first reunion yet. You don't have your first reunion until 5 years. So you're not out of high school long.
I
And
don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to that reunion. Oh well.
we'll see. But anyway, so that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Futuristic day at Disney.
Yeah.
Sophie, start organizing.
I will try. First, I need to find an outfit.
All right. Well, I'm going to close the book on Dapper Days at Disney. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We enjoy talking about all these different things. And sometimes we're a little bit
Yeah.
off the wall, a little bit off the beaten path, but we enjoy it anyway. And we hope you do too. So leave us a comment. Watch us on YouTube so you can see Sophie's awesome outfit and
Mm-hmm.
my church clothes, because I'm basically in church clothes. But let us know, and if you're interested, I'll put a comment I'll put a new post out in the group. And if you've dressed in Dapper attire at Disney and you don't mind sharing a photo, share some photos of you dressed in your Dapper wear. I
Yeah.
would love to share them on next week's podcast.
And actually, you know something, Daddy?
What?
You know that opening footage that we use at the beginning of this podcast every week?
Hmm.
I actually think that I'm wearing this dress in that opening footage. It's from
You
the boardwalk.
the boardwalk, but I've switched it up now.
You have? Oh,
Now
dang it.
I'm over at Epcot now.
Well, shoot, I guess our viewers will just have to go back and watch some old episodes then.
I guess so. I guess so. But yeah, you were wearing that outfit over at
Yeah,
the boardwalk. And that's another thing.
and
You
I love
know,
this dress.
Dapper wear at the boardwalk totally fits that style and that area. That totally works, you know?
Absolutely.
So anyway, that is a that was that's just I don't know what I was gonna say. But that's a great point, is that Dapper wear does not have to be at Disney parks.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to close the book, and it is time for this day in Disney history for November 22nd.
Yep, and I have two great things actually.
All
My
right.
dad while we were planning for the podcast today, my dad told me, "Hey, you need to go look at what happened in 1963." So I went and looked at it, and it's a huge thing. So I'm going to go for 1963 first,
Oh,
because
okay.
1962, although it came earlier, is extremely awesome to me.
Okay.
All right. So in 1963, Walt Disney and a group of associates fly over the coast of Florida aboard a Beechwood Queen Air, a small twin propeller aircraft first put into service in 1963. Walt and his entourage of top executives are at the end of a tour of the eastern United States in search of an ideal location for a new theme park. The aerial view confirms Walt's doubts about building a theme park by the ocean. They fly inland over Orlando, circling the forests and swamps for the very first time.
Nice.
From the air, they see the good road network below, which includes I-4, Florida's Turnpike and McCoy Air Force Base, soon to be Orlando International Airport. And Walt has a good feeling about this site. This followed with a stop in New Orleans to refuel for the trip back to Burbank. It is during the stop in New Orleans that they learn of the U.S. President Kennedy's assassination in Texas just hours before.
Yeah.
On the somber flight back home, Walt announces that out of all the stops, Central Florida appears to be the best choice. Disneyland will close the following day in honor of President Kennedy, who visited the park as senator in 1959. Although often reported, Disney and his executives were not aboard a 1963 G151 Grumman Gulfstream 1 plane on this day. That airplane, today on display at Disney's Hollywood Studios, was not put into service until 1964.
That's a heavy day. That
Yeah,
is
it is.
huge, because I did not realize or I did not piece them together that
Yeah.
President Kennedy's assassination was on November 22nd.
Yeah. It's amazing how so many things in the world can just connect with each other.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought about either of these two events happening on the same day, no less.
Mm-hmm.
But time has a funny way of working.
Yeah. So you said you had something in 1962 also?
I did, yes. And
Okay.
in 1962, November 22nd was Thanksgiving Day. And a helium-filled Donald Duck balloon returned to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on this rainy day in New York City. Although heavy rains during the parade caused the rim of Donald Duck's hat to fill with water and dump 50 gallons
Oh
on a
no.
few unlucky parade watchers.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Golly.
Well, I mean,
They probably were already wet anyway.
yeah.
So
If you ask me, that would have been seriously fun.
unless it's Thanksgiving and it's pouring down rain, it's probably cold, and then you get doused with the cold water on top of that. I
I
don't think
know.
I don't think I would have liked it as much. If that were in
I
the middle
know.
of summer, that would be like a new ride.
I know, but I know. I think I would still be laughing.
Yeah, probably. Probably would have. All right. Well, that is great history, Sophie.
Thank you.
I have a who's who character.
Stump the Soph?
Yeah, no getting any help from Brenda.
Oh no, my lucky charm has gone away. Whatever am I to do?
Yeah, like you're gonna have a problem anyway.
Yeah, Grogu volunteers to be my lucky charm.
Oh, okay. Good job, Grogu. Well, this character.
You're gonna have to give me a clue, Daddy. I can't guess just on that.
This character is handsome and exotic.
Okay.
This character is a charming, outgoing ladies' man.
Naveen.
Yes, Prince Naveen. I almost gave it away even before that because the first clue I had, and that's why I had that pause. The first clue was a handsome, exotic prince, and I'm like, oh, geez, that would be so easy.
Oh, I already figured it out on the first guess. I was like, it's probably Naveen, but let's give him one more just to confirm.
Okay. Well, I have two bits of did you know? Yes, it is Prince Naveen. Did you know Prince Naveen has a younger brother?
Absolutely, and he's 6.5 at the time of the end of the movie.
And what's his name?
Okay, you got me there. I
His
don't know his
name
name.
is Ralphie.
Aw, that's cute.
And did you know that Naveen is fluent in French?
Yes, I did.
Really? How'd you know
Yes.
that?
Because when the Cajun firefly Ray starts speaking French to his lover Evangeline, Naveen translates for Tiana.
Oh, good point. Good job, Sophie.
I love New Orleans. It is so rich in culture.
Well, I picked that because of um, the cheddar we had about Tiana.
I
That
agree.
that's
And it
why I
only
ended
makes
up
sense because Walt
gravitating to it.
Disney stopped in New Orleans with his executives on that flight around Florida.
That's true. So this is like it all weaves together.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
I love it.
Well,
So,
I am going to play the role of Brenda, and I am going to give our Walt Disney quote a little bit of Walt.
all right.
And I am going to share his opening day speech from Disneyland, July 17th, 1955.
Oh, that is a wonderful one. Please do it. I'm listening.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here, age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts which have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. Walt Disney, the man, as Brenda would say.
You would say that.
Yeah, I think that Disneyland has been a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. I think that box has been checked so many times over that the paper has
Absolutely.
been rubbed through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. I wish I could have been there to listen to that in person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Although you
Yep.
can YouTube it and see it online.
I know. The only problem with seeing it in person was that,
Well, you
well,
weren't born.
you weren't born yet.
I wasn't born yet, and that means you weren't born yet.
Mommy wasn't even
Mommy
born
wasn't
yet.
born yet. Brenda wasn't born yet.
Oh, dang it. We were born too late.
But my mom was born. She was 13.
Oh, wow.
No, she was 12, almost 13. But she
Ah.
wasn't there. And my dad was born. He was 15, but he was not there. Anyway, enough about who wasn't there.
Yeah.
That wraps us up for this week. And that means that next week, Brenda is back. And we are going to have her Walt Disney World recap.
Yes.
And we are going to take a look at Disney Genie with her and get her insight on what works well, what works some well, and what maybe needs a little bit of improvement. I don't know. So I can't wait to hear all about it. So join us next week, and we hope you have a great week. And Sophie and Grogu and myself,
We will
see you on the road.